The original Resident Evil defines the term classic, except it doesn't, because technically classic refers to the classical period, but that's being pedantic. Look, the point is, Resident Evil is an old game that still has its fans. While we can argue about what the first survival horror game truly was, Resident Evil was the one that invented the term and was the first to gain mainstream attention. While old and clunky by today's standards, and the voice acting has become something of a meme referenced in everything from fan art to Capcom's other games, there's no denying the legacy of the game, spawning a ton of sequels and imitators. If you're watching this video, you don't need it explained to you, but let's do it anyway. After a string of murders involving cannibalism, the Special Police Unit STAR's Bravo team is sent to investigate. The Bravo team goes missing, so the STAR's Alpha team is sent to investigate their disappearance. After being attacked by zombie dogs, the Alpha team takes refuge in a nearby mansion, which turns out to be full of zombies. The rest of the plot is well known, so I won't spoil it for the 3 people on Earth who don't know how it unfolds, but it will suffice to say, like many things in the game, age has taken the shine off a little, as other games have built on what Resident Evil did. At the start of the game you choose one of 2 characters, Chris, who has more health and a lighter, and Jill, who has more inventory space and a lockpick. They take different paths through mostly the same content. Generally speaking, most people find Jill's campaign easier. The game uses what would be known as tank controls. Left and right turn your character, up and down walks forward and back, almost like a remote control car. You get used to it pretty quick, or at least I did. Since then, many people have took issue with the controls in this and many of its sequels and imitators, but alternative control schemes in other games tend to create more problems than they solve. Personally, I say stick with the tank controls and you'll end up having a better time in the long run. Gameplay is true survival horror. Ammo and healing items are limited, so you'll want to avoid enemies when you can. Even saves are limited, so you can't rely on checkpoints to save you. As you explore, you find items that can be used to progress, while various diaries, journals and other paperwork include clues for how to progress and unravel the mystery of what's going on. There is a lot of backtracking in the game, finding items in a room to use in another room, that kind of thing. I don't find it to be a problem here though, probably because it feels natural, whereas most games have backtracking to pad out the runtime. If all this sounds bare bones, that's because this game's ideas were used in almost all horror games going forward, from Silent Hill to Dead Space. The original Resident Evil is more than a bit clunky by today's standards. Things like having to go to the menu to reload your gun if it isn't empty are problems that are largely solved by more modern games. I can't really comment on the horror aspect of the game, as I've been playing it on and off in some form for almost 20 years, if not more. The game has many ports, versions and even a remake. Most people prefer the remake, available on GameCube and PC. Personally, I like the DS version myself, but pretty much all of them are good. The only bad versions are the DualShock Edition, which replaced the music with far worse music, and the unreleased Game Boy port, but all of the others should be fine. The remake or the director's cut versions are widely available on digital download. If you're new to these kind of games, I recommend playing on easier modes if they're available, but you don't have to, just know that the game can get brutally difficult. Despite some dated graphics and some clunkiness, Resident Evil is a classic still worth playing today.